Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Pour. I'm Jordan.
I'm Brian.
And today we're going to be talking about the 5 bourbons that we need each day. So we've seen this on YouTube quite a bit, making the circuit. I think every channel has had these. So the 5 are your daily drinker, a cheap mixer, the Friday night pour, a pour that impressed your guests, and then a pour you have for special occasions. So we're going to go through our list. We're going to go one at a time. Brian, I think I'll let you start. So let's start with a daily drinker.
Okay. Well, my go-to daily drinker, usually it comes right down to it. I'm going to drink the Wild Turkey 101. Mm-hmm. It's hard to beat. It stands up straight up, neat. It's also a good mixer, but I'll say it's not the mixer in this category, but it's a daily drinker, and it's one that I go to more often than anything I have.
And so, I almost picked this as my daily drinker too. It's actually under my bar, and as you can tell, it is. But I'm not going to venture too far from Wild Turkey 101 because my daily drinker, which I've not replaced, would be the Russell's 10-year. So I really like the vanilla notes that I get out of this one. Vanilla is a big flavor for me. And that's just a vanilla bomb. As a daily drinker, 90 proof, it's pretty easy on you. And both of these are pretty affordable, although this one's starting to tick up a little bit.
Last time I saw it was in $30 to $35 range. Yeah. This one I saw, depends on where you buy it at. It's anywhere from 19 to 25.
Yeah.
But still pretty affordable.
Can't go wrong. Yeah. Can't go wrong.
Hard to go wrong.
I almost picked it, but I'm glad you did. All right, so the next one we're going to do is a cheap mixer.
Okay, so for my cheap mixer, I'm going with the JTS Brown. Mm-hmm. For the price on that bottle, you can't hardly beat it. These two honestly are kind of interchangeable as far as you can sip on them neat. JTS Brown's probably one of my favorite that I do sip on, but these are pretty close. But this one probably mixes a little better across the board. Mm-hmm. This makes a great old fashioned, and there's several other things that it really stands up well in. The Wild Turkey would make a mint julep, kind of gives a little bit more of a punch, mm-hmm. But they both stand up really well. And I've noticed here what he's going to be bringing out with his offering. We are in the same family, so that they make good cheap bourbon that's just good for all purposes. Yeah. So
and it's bottled in bond.
Yeah. 4 years, and I think this at some places is $12 to all the way up to about $15.
It's kind of wild that you get a bottled in bond for that cheap. But this next one, my cheap mixer, I kind of cheated on this one a little bit, Brian. I'll admit. It depends. I'm not really big on cocktails, so I only like a handful of them. If I'm using bourbon in a cocktail, it's Evan Williams bottled in bond, the white label. This at our local store, Vic's Liquor, I think is around $17 to $19. Really good price. And I like this one neat. I mean, I'll drink that neat. I'll drink it in a cocktail. This is what I primarily use for one of the cocktails I like, which is a mint julep. That is what I use as a cheap mixer if I am doing bourbon. Now, my favorite cocktail, surprise, is our screen just went out here. Now it's back. Surprise, favorite cocktail is an old fashioned. For that, I like rye. And although this isn't super cheap, you can still find it here for about $29. And that is the Knob Creek rye. So I like that in an old fashioned. Really well, and they've added an age statement to that. So.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know we were adding our rye favorite because I love rye. Actually, my go-to rye would be a Rittenhouse rye, or even just the basic Bullet rye is pretty solid. Right. They both make good Sazeracs and really good old fashioned.
So much for a top 5 bourbons, right? So, but anyway, for an old fashioned, I have made old fashions with this and Wild Turkey as well, but had to do that just as a mention for a mixer. So.
Oh, okay. Well, the next up is our Friday night pour. So this is something that kind of in that category that you're not going to drink it all week because you probably paid a little bit more for it. So you want it to be special. So that I would put the Knob Creek 12. That one is just so solid. You get so much for it's a 100 proofer, but it drinks. I don't want to say it drinks above. It probably drinks a little bit above its proof point.
Yeah.
But you get a good type of. Some people don't like the nutty taste, but you get a little bit. You get that Jim Beam nut taste. You get a good spice bite on it, and it's just so solid. It's probably my favorite pound for pound bourbon. I just wish it. And it's not that expensive. I mean, you're in the $65 to $70 category, which is not this day and age is not bad. It still hurts a little bit when you know you can buy JTS Brown for $12. But
not one you want to have to replace very often, but when you do, you're not mad about it.
Right, definitely.
And that's actually the first bottle that I had where I got that nut flavor that everybody's always talked about with Jim Beam. And it's very prominent on that. That's one of my favorites. That was almost one that I picked. I think you and I kind of have similar palates, and that's just always a great bottle to have, and definitely worth the money if you can find it. Not something you see all the time either. So
a little on the allocated side, but you usually can find it if you're searching for it.
Pretty accessible. So my Friday night pour, same price range. Peerless small batch. Really like this one. This one clocks in particular. All their stuff is barrel proof. This is 111.2, and like I said, just the small batch. I love the notes from this one. It's kind of like a deep, like chocolatey brown sugar. You can taste the barrel char in it. The only complaint that I have about this one in particular is that it's a little bit thin for 111 proof. It's not very viscous. But still, one of my favorites, and a lot of the Peerless products are a little bit on the higher side, but this one we can find at our stores about $68, $70.
Right.
But this would be
a little bit more on the craft side, and I think you have to pay a little bit extra for that, but it is super solid. I don't remember much of the tasting elements about it, but I do remember I really enjoyed it when I had it. So that's hard to beat.
I'll share some with you later.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good stuff.
So okay, then the next category is impress your guests. So this was a category. A lot of my guests, when they come to my house, are not necessarily bourbon drinkers, but there is one bottle in the bourbon industry that I think everybody recognizes and everybody knows, and if they don't, they still look at it and say, "Oh, that's a cool bottle." So I kind of went with the Blanton's. Your Blanton's bottle, like I said, stands out. It's definitely unique, and everybody has their say on it, but I think Blanton stands up really well. I think it drinks really good. I mean, is it
93 proof?
93 proof.
I've got that memorized.
Yeah, so it's a solid pour. It gets better as you do get a little bit more proof on it with all the other offerings they have. But when you see that sitting there, you know that's something special.
Right. Yeah, so, it's awesome. And you know what? Like you said, there's a lot of wide range opinions on Blanton's. I am a fan, and I don't care if anybody thinks that's the term tater. I don't care. It is good. A great nose, a great palate on Blanton's. Not that it should count for much, but the bottle is cool. And you know what? Don't lie. The first time you ever bought a bottle of Blanton's, you were excited. For sure. Impress your guests for me. I'm sticking with the Buffalo Trace theme here. And it is Weller Foolproof. I almost actually picked Blanton's for the same reasons that you did. Sometimes that when people come over, they're not into bourbon. That's always one that's going to impress. But if they are into bourbon, odds are they may not have ever had Weller Foolproof. And I just recently acquired this bottle in December. And so it's been my first bottle, and I only had a pour of Foolproof one other time. And this is something I'm really excited to share with people. Kind of a little treat to impress them if they've never had it. So.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite of the Weller lineup.
And it smells so good. I got a little. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. Hard to beat it.
Yep.
So.
Hard to beat it.
Okay. Well, then the last category is the special occasions. This bourbon I've got here, it's exactly what I've done. So last year at our bourbon pour event, I cracked it open. I shared it with about 5 to 7 other of the guests that won an opportunity to get a drink of it. And then since then, I celebrated my 50th birthday with it, and then I celebrated the birth of my grandchild. So, awesome. So I've saved that for very, very special occasions. So and I got really lucky to get this bottle, but it's King of Kentucky, and it is so good. it's an expensive bottle. I won the rights to buy it through Total Wine and More, and I held on to it for probably 6 months before I cracked it. But I'm just so happy that I did crack it. And since this kind of is the kicking off of our bourbon channel, I thought that might be a good special occasion to have a little toast of it.
That's right. All right.
So I was thinking maybe we can break that out.
And you have shared this with me before on occasion. You have given me a sample. Yeah, poor little light there.
We want to keep this one around for a
I really
long
appreciate
time,
that. Like I said, our mantra is share your whiskey. And I really appreciate that, Brian. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this one actually was from 2021. I won it in the lottery of 2022.
Okay.
But that's actually from 2021.
Yeah. What Total Wine store was it from?
The Paddocks in Louisville.
Okay. Yeah, they're in Kentucky. Oh gosh, it smells so good. That's great. That's great. My special occasion bottle has already made it onto this channel, and the reason I cracked it was because, same reason, starting our channel, and that is a bottle I didn't think that I would ever acquire, which is the Colonel Taylor Barrel Proof, and we had a little bit of it that night, and I did send you home with a little sample.
You did, yeah.
So we didn't drink all of that in one night, but I was just so impressed with this bottle, and that's definitely going to be a special occasion for me.
Yeah,
so.
You want to keep that for years.
Yeah. Oh, but let's get into this King of Kentucky, because this is...
that is hard to beat.
Yeah, the nose on that. Just what's the proof of that?
It packs a pretty good punch. It's 131 proof. It's 14 years old.
Oh my.
And it was bottle 46 of 111. So definitely a small batch or barrel.
There's only 111 bottles of it?
I don't know if it's probably by barrel.
Oh, okay.
The single barrel.
Oh, okay. Out of that particular barrel.
Right.
Okay.
They don't make very many of it.
Yeah.
I think it's less than 2,000.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's
that's incredible. And the finish on that is really what stands out. That's a pretty remarkable bourbon.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing
with
that
the proof, and but it drinks so smooth.
Yes.
So many different elements that come out in that. It's so good. I never want that bottle to end.
right. Who knows when you'll see one like that again? Probably never. We'll see this one.
Not, yeah.
We'll probably see this one before we see that one again, right?
They're hard to come by. Yeah. So, and I did notice something that I picked a bourbon from a different family.
Yeah.
So I did a pretty good job of dividing it up. I didn't mean to do that, but I've got like I said, your Wild Turkey, your Heaven Hill, your Jim Beam, Sazerac, and then Old Forester. So kind of spread the love around a little bit. So.
Yeah. I'm the only repeater, the tater bottle, so to speak, with Buffalo Trace here with Taylor and Weller, but great offerings no matter what. So anyway, those are our 5 bourbons that you need. Let us know what your 5 bourbons are. Send us a note. What do you enjoy drinking, and what do you enjoy sharing? And of course, when you're with your family and your friends, always share your whiskey.